Previously, on keeping up with the Kenya Kwanza government.
It is essential to find a delicate balance between national security and the right to free expression.
I think as a country we enjoy too much freedom.
Should Kenyans brace themselves for an internet blackout or at least a digital chokehold? If President William Ruto ever needed an excuse to tighten the screws on online freedoms, the moment has arrived. Gift wrapped and hashtagged.
Countries that sit in are all state countries under the UN. And so this is what they are telling Kenya, that you, Kenya, have gone back to child prostitution and you use social media to do that.
Over the past few days, East Africa's digital streets have been on fire. A cross-border storm has erupted between Kenya and Tanzania, sparked by the controversial abduction and deportation of Kenyan activists involved in the Tundu Lissu saga. What began as an outcry morphed into a full-blown online war, memes flying, hashtags trending, and governments fuming. And now, Nairobi is rattled. The Kenya Kwanza administration, offended by the force of Kenya's digital activism, is floating a new idea. Maybe, just maybe, there is too much freedom of expression, and maybe it is time to control it.
Mmevuka Tanzania, mnachukua mama wa kwanza Afrika kuwa raisi, the first lady in Africa to become a president. Alafu mnamuweka kwa jeneza. Jana nimeona hizi vyombo sijui namna gani wameweka ati umbwa inaongea, wabunge wa Tanzania wakiongea ati ni umbwa inabweka wakafanya hivyo. Serikali ya Kenya simuamuke jamani. Simuamuke, mjaribu kuzima hii kitu. Simuamuke. Waheshimiwa, simuamuke. DCI si ushike watu 4-5 ukogagoge magoti upeleke wakamiti wakae mwakabili. Hawa wengine wataogopa.
Speaker Moses Wetangula came out swinging, condemning Kenyan activists who invaded Tanzania as a saboteur of East Africa's diplomacy.
The East African community is not a community of flags, is not a community of presidents. It's a community of the people of East Africa. Started by our founding fathers, Mzee Kenyatta, Mwalimu Nyerere, na Dr. Milton Obote wa Uganda.
According to him, keyboard warriors are fast becoming diplomatic liabilities.
I want to urge my fellow Kenyans who have started a bad habit of roaming all over East Africa to go and foment trouble, to go and cause disaffection, to go and appear to know what others they think don't know. You are a lawyer in Kenya. We look at your records, you have never had any distinction as a lawyer in this country. Alafu unakimbia unaenda Tanzania, you want to go and show Tanzania that you are a lawyer. And here in Kenya, nobody even appreciates what you do as a lawyer. Kenya wants to be peaceful and have a good neighborhood and neighborliness with our neighbors and our partners in East African community. Watanzania hawajawahi kuchokoza Kenya. Waganda, ile wakati ilikuwa ya madness ya Idi Amin peke yake, na nyinyi watoto wote hamukuweko, pengine hapa ni Kapondi, Lusaka na wachache. Wakati Amin alisema ati mpaka ya Uganda na Kenya iko Naivasha, Wakenya wakasema jaribu uone. Hatujawahi kuwa na shida na watu wa Uganda. Mimi nikikrosi hapa naingia kwa my families. Babu tu base ekombulola yabwe elimwangele home. Hatutaki kugombana na majirani. And I want to encourage our friends, our retired chief justices, and other distinguished Kenyans. Please don't be the ones to foment frosty relations between Kenya and its neighbors. We coexist, we trade, and we have more Kenyans living in those countries than there are people living in Kenya.
The Goreti North MP Beatrice Elachi doubled down, painting social media as a cesspool of moral decay, child prostitution, cyberbullying, and gambling. Her solution: amend the laws, regulate the digital Wild West.
That we in Kenya are full in pornography and we use social media to do that. That we in Kenya, we have put children in gambling and we use social media to do that. So social media is good, but social media was not meant for you to send me your manhood, because that's what Kenyans do to us. It is not meant to send me your nakedness. No. It was meant to help you to advance yourself, to build yourself in the correct way. And so for us as women in parliament, and one day we'll come here with all our phones, want to open it for you, Trevor. I want you to read. And if possible, read it to Kenyans. Show them the things we see. And tell me if you are a mother of this nation, you will not stand and fight for your children who are about to just disappear in a world they don't know.
Senator Cherargei struck a similar tone, warning that Kenya's freedom have become too free. In his eyes, a little censorship wouldn't hurt. After all, in some countries, even a tweet gets you jailed, or worse. Why not Kenya?
I think as a country we enjoy too much freedom.
What
and
does
you know,
that mean?
There's no such thing.
Sorry,
as
what
too much
does-
freedom.
No. Let me qualify
I really
my statement.
need you to qualify that. Yes.
Merely qualify, because when you go to other countries, even looking around or even posting some things on social media are not allowed. The internet is so much regulated. What you can post is so much regulated. And this comes, by the way, I don't know whether you notice with the changes of visa with the US, that all the embassies should be, and they are even thinking of reviewing, including looking at your social media past history.
Oh, they're not thinking about it. They very clearly said that that is what they're going to do.
It means some countries are taking extra caution, and therefore the fact that and you know in my culture they say you can share the sun but not homes.
Then came the real canary in the digital coal mine. NIS boss Noordin Haji.
Across the continent, we have witnessed a considerable increase in the use of social media platforms for advocacy and mobilization for civil action. However, this has resulted in the worrying emergence of coordinated and sustained misinformation and disinformation aimed at misguiding citizens, leading them to make poor decisions and fostering misguided perceptions of their governments.
You see, when the man in charge of Kenya's intelligence apparatus starts raising red flags about social media use being a security threat, you don't just raise your eyebrows, you brace for impact.
Although free speech is vital for our democratic freedoms, it is essential to find a delicate balance between national security and the right to free expression.
And impact is on the way, carried by none other than Aldai MP Marianne Kitany, who has already tabled the Kenya Information and Communication Amendment Bill 2025, a piece of legislation that reads like it was drafted by Big Brother himself. And the bill demands that internet service providers install metered billing systems. Yes, like electricity, assigning every user a unique meter number. Internet service providers would then track their usage, invoice them, and report it all to the Communication Authority of Kenya once a year. Translation: the government wants to put a power meter on your Google searches. And the bill claims it is about transparency and fair billing. Critics, however, aren't buying it. Digital rights advocates are calling it what it looks like: a velvet-gloved surveillance tool. A backdoor into your private digital life, wrapped in legal jargon and sprinkled with sweet talk about consumer protection. This bill gives the state a backdoor into your private digital life, with no mention of consent, data protection, or oversight. And in a country where digital spaces are often the only safe ground for activism and truth-telling, that's dangerous. We don't need meters on our freedoms, one Kenyan said. But the big question is, Are you ready to embrace this billing? What are your thoughts? Leave your thoughts in our comment section. That is it for now. Thanks for watching. Let's meet next time. Bye-bye.